Okay. Test, test, test. 1, 2. Hey, this is Dave, and I'm doing some virtual co-working. Virtual co-working is me working on boring technical stuff. Not edited. I'm just working on code, sharing what I'm doing, talking through what I'm doing. It's not exactly an educational process, but it's more for people who, when they're watching the archives of these, they may be working on something and it gives you the impression that someone else is working in the same room as you are. You know, the sounds of someone else working on stuff. And if you know nothing about JavaScript and technology, it's not distracting at all. It's like background noise. Now, I'm trying to figure out why I'm not actually hearing anything, though. That's probably because of this. Yeah, alright, so that's... It seems we have audio going here, so I think I'll just get started. So, what am I working on right now? Let me write this into the chat window. Over here. First, we'll start by looking at the environment for website making, which is MAMP Pro. Alright, so let me switch over to the screen. One thing that's new is I set up this MIDI controller to do scene switching. So if I press aux, I'll switch to my auxiliary camera, and if I press this one, it'll go to the aux plus chat. And I can switch between screen, main, screen plus chat, the split view, my slate, and then this is like the split screen view. So I can go back and forth between these just by touching stuff. And this is NDI is for like this external connection, which I don't have set up right now. So this will be an interesting check to see how well this works. So let me go to screen. And I guess I can close this now. Fortunately, I should open this up on the PC monitor over there. So let me go to open this monitor up over here. You can see on this side. Nice thing is I don't have to scroll over to the OBS window here and then select things manually anymore, which is nice. Which means I can probably maximize this view somehow. I wonder if I can hide the toolbars for... I don't know. Anyway, so over on this side, I'm going to launch my live dashboard monitoring and see what's going on over here. So I can close this window, I can go back to screen, and then just start launching stuff. So I'm going to launch MAMP Pro. MAMP Pro is the it's a web server. It's the MySQL server. It basically is a utility that will allow you to launch web server technology on the Macintosh. Oops. Otherwise, you would have to have a virtual machine or install it natively. This kind of makes it all self-contained. You can have different versions of PHP. You can have different versions of the web server. It's just a convenient thing. So, I should go to this mode. I'm eating some stewed pork buns. So now MAMP's running. Now that MAMP is running, that means I have the web server up, which means I can go to localhost, or say local, I think. Let's say local, which is hosted by this Macintosh, and it should pop something up if everything's working. Yeah, so this is the local version of my website. You go to davidsay.com. This is the live version that's on the web that you can visit. So this is the one I screw around with, the local version, when I'm just making theme changes, and then I can upload them. And to keep track of stuff, I can use SourceTree, which is the most recent repo. No, this is it. So SourceTree is the repo that I, or the Git repo that I'm tracking changes. So every time I make a change to a file, it can tell me what what changes have happened. I was talking to Roger in the chat room, in our Discord chat room, about the magic of source control. That allows you, when you're running a complicated program, to save your progress, make a little change, you can see exactly what's changed, and then save the incremental change, which makes it a lot easier to experiment with stuff. Anyway, and I need to pull up a text editor too. So let's open this. Let's put this in its own workspace. Let's move this over here. So this is generally how I have things set up. This is a work project. So this I don't need to have up anymore. It's still running in the background. I can see this little icon up here that's showing things. So let's see. Let's set a timer for 15 minutes and see how far I get with this. So what I want to do with my website, if you look at the website here in the screen, the way it's set up is there's a home page. There's a productivity tools tab that shows like the various free productivity tools I provide. So this part is actually kind of nice. You can click on things, and you can read about the thing, download all the various versions of stuff. There's also a blog, which is just your regular style blog with a bunch of categories on this side. You can browse it by either the regular list view, or you can just see the picture, this grid view. So it's like an endless scrolling thing. This is a feature of the WordPress theme that I bought. I used to make my own themes, but then it got easier just to customize existing ones that looked good to begin with. This one's called Dante by a company called Swift Ideas out of the UK someplace. One of the better theme companies I've come across for WordPress themes. A lot of the times you'll buy or it used to be that you'll buy a WordPress theme and no one would support it after a year. And it would look great on the outside, but when you got into the inside, it would be a big mess. It'd be like this, basically a hodgepodge of plugins that have been cobbled together with some custom functions that didn't work very, very cleanly. But this Dante theme is, I think I bought this like 5 years ago, and they still support it with updates and stuff. So they're a nice professional company for that. Anyway, the last section is investigations, and this is the part that I wanted to make foremost on my new website. Right now, these are set up as WordPress pages, and using some custom plugin stuff that I'm doing to keep track of things, but it's very cumbersome, and also WordPress is very slow at processing. I'm running this on a 16 gig machine. Oh, I'm streaming at the same time, but the responsiveness of WordPress gets slower and slower and slower as time goes on, and it's also a huge security risk because you're running PHP, and you have to make sure your server is secure, and you're constantly worrying that people are hacking into it, trying to steal stuff or use it to launch attacks on other websites. And so what I want to do is make a static website using something called a static site generator. What a static site generator does is you keep all your source files, the articles, the pictures, the things that get kind of stitched together using templates. You keep that on your local computer, not on the internet. You run a program that generates from those assets a set of regular static websites that have no scripting in it, or no server-side scripting. So that makes it more secure. There's no you don't have to worry about some WordPress plugin having some security flaw in the way it's coded. And it would load very fast because it's serving static sites basically. It doesn't have to generate the page on the fly as a normal WordPress install would do, or cache it and save it, then serve it, which is like an optimized website like mine would do. But it's all a big pain in the ass, and I would like to just kind of change things up and make a website that is more about the information, a project first rather than a chronological blog format. And by project first, I mean there's maybe, let's say at a given time I have maybe 10 or 20 different active projects that I'm kind of curious about, and maybe I'm not working on all of them as diligently as like the main ones. But you know, maybe every month I come back to a project and say like, let me do a little bit of research in this, and then save that research. And I want that research to be appended to the end of this project, and I want it then to be updated and shown on the front page. I guess I could do this with WordPress, but the whole point is just to learn how to do a whole bunch of stuff and get away from WordPress. Go to the static site thing, which I think will make me happy. If not, at least I'll learn something. So, that's the basic idea. I don't even have a contact page anymore because... Oh wait. That's still active? I thought I disabled that. Maybe I didn't copy it over. Oh yeah. So yeah, this is the new this is like currently what I'm using for contact information. I haven't updated the local site apparently. Anyway. Let's go back to that. That's interesting. I saw a little glitch up there. So, how am I setting this up? Now, as I recall, let me close this project. And, oops, that's not what I actually close all the Sublime. Project, open recent. I guess it's here. This is my website source code. I was most recently refactoring this. I was documenting this bulk process plugin. This is a plugin that will scan posts and look for the special markup I used for inserting images. It's something called Lazy Image Layout, which I wrote in 2004 when I didn't know anything about PHP. But it still works, and all my posts since then have used this markup format. So it searches for them and turns them into attached post thumbnails, so they show up in the theme. And I'd forgotten how this worked, so I was reviewing it because this will be useful for processing the existing sites into content. Well, what I'm looking for now is a place to put I guess I'm looking for so let me just kind of talk through this. I want to make a site, a place where I can experiment with some layouts without actually having to code a bunch of stuff. And I think I'm going to put it in this topic folder. Oh yeah, this is the semantic UI thing I was working. Why is it? Google Translate is seeing like all my dummy text here, and it's thinking that this is a site that's in Latin. Never translate Latin, let's say. Like all this stuff here. And now I remember. Look at this semantic UI thing. Let's go back to here. Let me close some of these files. That. And in topic, this is the markup that I was working on. So let me think. What is it that I want to do with this? So I'm trying to make a new website. And I have an idea of how it might work. I'm a little bit stuck on figuring out exactly how that might work though. So I am going to go get a drink, but before I do that, let me set up NDI, which is where? NDI. NDI is a video monitor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my iPhone as a remote camera. Where is it? It's under monitoring, NDI. And it should show up. It should connect eventually. Let me switch to the NDI split mode, which is this. No, this is the NDI mode. And do we see anything yet? No? Oh, maybe I had to record? That's strange, it's not working. What's supposed to happen is that this box is supposed to show up. So here's the NDI monitor. And this is supposed to connect to, oh, it's because it's probably on the wrong network. It has to be on my local network. And yeah, it's connected to freaking Xfinity. I wish it would stop doing that. Annoying. Alright. Alright, so this should show up now. Yeah, they're not showing up. Put this over here, and if I hit record, then that should eventually show up. And if we go to the split view, and 4, just waiting for this to connect. Yeah, okay, so now we have this, now my iPhone is live. I had to mute the microphone on it though. Okay. Alright, I just wanted to set that up. There's a teletype I got recently. Picked this up from a friend of mine in Concord. And it's not, the last time it worked was apparently in the 1990s. You know, there's some damage there, just like this no longer stays in place. There's missing a housing over here. This is the tape reader. And this plat in here, that's a strike hammer for this type wheel here, that needs to be replaced. So this is going to be a refurb project. It would be nice to get tweets to appear on this thing, and then punch stuff out on this paper tape, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I gotta going to get some get a drink. Let me turn this off, and let me go back to MA2. And I'll be back in a second. So the cat will be there. I'm just gonna go walk over here and get something to drink. How much time has gone by? Oh, this will do. Got some Gatorade or something like this, some sort of sports drink. Hey, kitty. Cat is here. Kitty, those are my feet. Hey. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So, what's next? I wonder if anyone else is working right now. Gotta get rid of this plate. So I think I'm gonna sketch something just to give my brain something to hang on to, because I'm not sure exactly what to do right now. I have the idea that I want a better website. I have the idea of how it might work, but that first bit of can you see this? Let me adjust this down a bit. All right, I think that'll work. So the first, what am I trying to do here? This might be a problem. Great, let's make some room. website. So I have the idea that there might be blocks. This may say project, and then some, let's say curry filled tomatoes, which is not a project yet, but they would probably be delicious. And it would be something like this, and it might say something like this updated August 13 synopsis, and some lines, and then the latest edition. Oops, time. Let's restart the timer. Maybe there's some photos or something like this. Maybe there's related. So like I could see that maybe there's a whole bunch of these things that are there. But so what would the page look like? Let's use this square as like a way of figuring that out. So at the top there would be sort of like, you know, there'd be Dave's lab, and then maybe a little bit of meta information there, a mission thing that you could expand, and then something that's nice, interesting looking here. Maybe this is just a stack of stuff, and it's like a project. Photo, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then like there's a link to like more. And then there's like, you know, maybe other listing stuff that's down here. That would probably be fine. So this might be the home page. And then what would happen? So each of these might go to like the bigger page. And here is the project. There's a small version of my masthead. And I would want this to be printable. And then the project, a synopsis, and then maybe there would be the last, and these are the last entries. And then it would just be like kind of text, I think. You know, this will just be, it'd be like a paper, dated, different document types. This one might be a gallery. And I think at the bottom I would want to have a sticky thing that would have the cross-references for tags and stuff like this. So something like that might be fine. And then, so this is just pure like markup. These are like segments. And if they stacked like this, they're printed. So these are static, or they don't move. Static. And this is just regular body copy text. It's called gallery. I think I would also want to have like a citations area. And that might be a whole different thing. Because the idea of having the projects like this is that I would be able to go and see at a moment's notice what I did last on the project, and then also you know, maybe have references or resources rather that I can reuse, you know, for experimenters. So it's kind of like a recipe slash lab notebook slash, well, the recipe is like the activity journal was based by project. And so I think I would give, there's only two pieces of metadata that I want. there's the project name, project number. It's like a reference number. This is a string. This is a unique, a human readable unique number. And then I guess there would be the slug slash basically I guess a page reference for SEO purposes. Is that what I want? I'm trying to think if that matters. Project name, and then there's like I guess the project name. The project name is a string, but I think of the data structures. The project number I think is going to be this is really the key that it will index other things. And then like the category tags are basically my organizing principle. But there's several things that I want to build on. So tags can be useful for just for making a an organized, that's the term, not exactly a hierarchy, a taxonomy of content. Each piece of content can be tagged with these keywords that tell you what kind of content it is, but there's no taxonomy of the types of tagging. So I guess maybe there's things like the subject. Maybe there's people involved. But then there's like sources or like citations. These are different kinds of tags. So I might have a special tag format. And so like a regular tag, so I might have like a site dash and then or site colon, what colon? And then like the slug or the tag name. There could also be a source. So the idea of a source is, let's say I make a project that's about making pancakes, and then let's say that I want to make a new project based on the pancake project, but changes it in some way. What I want the knowledge and information in the pancake project to be automatically available in the, let's say, the chocolate chip pancake project. Let's say I'm working on a good chocolate chip pancake recipe. So I want to take the base thing. This is like using Git. I want to use the base project. I want to fork it, and then I want to like add additional stuff for it to the new project. So the new project doesn't have to duplicate everything that's in the pancake recipe. Likewise, I might want to multiply inherit from multiple projects. So like I might have, let's say I'm making a mashup of pancakes and pizza. And so I want to have, as the source, I want to have the pancake project and the pizza project, both as references, and then within the content block, I want to be able to add additional information that refers to the additional stuff. So the idea about having this is like if I'm looking at any particular project, I'll be able to kind of follow the chain of knowledge acquisition that has occurred. So for example, if I'm making the, let's say I'm extending the pizza article. The pizza article would be about like my best practices for making pizza at home. And then maybe I wanted to make a pizza that was kind of different, that required a change to the underlying methodology. I wanted to refer to the original one, but then I wanted to say these changes made to it to make this new recipe. So I don't know how to tag that. And so, but this is what I don't want to really get into right now, but I just want to kind of think of what this looks like here. Okay. Let's see. So let me try this. So I have kind of a basic idea of what it looks like. Let's see if we can make it. And this will be a test of my ability to use a semantic UI framework. So let me go to semanticui.com over on this. Actually, I could use NDI monitor over here. Okay, this might be kind of cool. NDI monitor, right click to select the source. Let me go to this view again, or actually this view. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Open up a bunch of stuff. Right click to select the NDI source. No NDI, oh, I'm running NDI monitor here. I need to run NDI source. Where is that? NDI. That's weird. There is this piece of software that does this, but what was it called again? This is NDI monitor. Video monitor. What's the name of the Windows program for NDI stuff? Let me switch this camera back to here. So I'm looking at that monitor over there. NDI tools, Windows. It might be over here, so this is NDI tools exact. Where's the rest of the NDI tools? It's called NDI scan converter. Here. And for some reason that's not in my dock. Where'd it go? Why isn't it running? Oh, it runs in the, does it run in the, how do I show this in, so I want to show the desktop here. So now that NDI source should be available. And I see it there. Yeah, okay, so now I can do this. So I can go back to here. Let's put this back down. Cat's butt. And so now I'm running the source, I can do this. And that's my Windows PC. Now that's being broadcast, or it's being streamed from this PC using this internet-based video connector. And now it's appearing in NDS and OBS here on my Macintosh. I can theoretically run games on that side too. And it also like brings audio across too. So anyway, I'm looking for, actually let me, before I do that, what I want to do on the Windows side of things is, what happened? It's a little slow because it's now transcribing stuff. I want to find scan converter, which is where that would be programs, this PC, C, program files, is NDI here? Scan converter? Actually probably it's not in the, might be in this folder. slow. Or I guess I could do it like this way. Scan converter, and I can open the file location. That's faster. And I want to copy this to here, so I can find it in the future. Okay, good. Alright, so that's set up. What I want to do now is find this, what? I forgot what I was doing. I was going to look at the documentation here, I guess. Where is the documentation? New usage, theming, layout stuff. There was no example of just how to lay stuff out. I think I need to actually make... I really just want a cheat sheet for the semantic UI stuff, but there really isn't one. How do I create the markup for it? I mean, like, I know it's all this... I really just want to see all of it at once. None of this BS. It's all based on divs. So, because, you know, it's semantics, so it's supposed to be easy to remember, but they don't give you everything in one big sheet, so you can actually see what the pattern is, which is dumb, or I just haven't found it. I want a compact cheat sheet. I don't want the stupid theme variables. Semantic UI. Is that an ad? So maybe the thing I need to do today is just make that guide. Oh, or maybe it's actually in the behaviors, collections, globals, views. These are all list files. And that's not what I want. Alright, this is going to be a pain in the ass, I can see. Designing themes, tweaking the design. Get this out of the way. I don't need to show that monitor anymore. Just move this out of the way so it can work. Alright, so this is dumb. I guess we're going to do this the hard way. So I think that's today. That will be today's task. Rather than actually doing any coding, we will just do documentation. So let me shut down map. Stop servers. Quit. What is this? This is the OBS menu. That's interesting. Oh, neat. Okay. So let me switch over back to the screen. That work? I don't know. There we go. I'm not sure why it's not always working. Okay. Still beats going, scrolling over there and clicking on stuff. So on this side, I'm going to have that. And then I'm going to open Quiver. And let me go back to, how does this work? 3, blogging, improving the blog system. Where am I going to keep this? This is my this is my project notebook that I keep notes on the continuity for all my various projects. This is what the new website is going to, you know, start implementing in a public-facing format. But where am I going to put this? I guess I'll just put it up here. Under blogging for now. Let's make a new notebook or a new note. Let's call this the reference semantic UI. Let's go back to this. And how are we going to do this? Let's try this. Let's make this full screen. And I'll also make this full screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as a reference. Yeah, your butt's in the way again. Move over here, okay? Spin you around. Way! There you go. Yeah. All these unbelievable themings, but I just want like a very simple reference. I mean, I suppose I could pull it out of, maybe out of this page. But it's not showing me the source code here. And the cat is being a pain in the butt now. Alright, what can we pull out of this? Hey, sweetie. Here. No sleep. Sit down. What are you looking? Don't lick the desk. I like this all day. You're an old kitty, though. Yep. All right. Now I must now you have bedhead. Trying to make some room here. Do it junk. I can't see the keyboard now. Alright, so I'm looking at... Now these are all iframes. Yuck. Alright, here we go. What I'm going to do is just start copying all these divs out. So, UI 3-column stackable grid. Let's see what kind of... You know, I should be doing this in Sublime Text, not in Quiver. Let me close this. The reason why I should be doing this in Sublime Text is because it's much easier to format stuff in that. So let me close this. I quit that. Oops, Sublime Text. Let me put this into one column mode. Actually, I don't need to have... Oops. Let me close this project. Like a new file. So bigify that. And then let's move this over here and use this as our writing thing. Alright, so what are we doing? Well, let me just grab the source code and reformat it over here. So here, and then on that side, that's one iframe, and that's what this is. That's interesting. And then let's look at the dividing header. That's interesting. And it looks like there's some JavaScript happening. Non-document ready. UI menu, A item. I'll ignore the JavaScript stuff for now. So what I'm doing is I'm copying source code. What is this one called? Because I'm going to reformat into some sort of succinct reference. These are what? Components? What was the name of this? Components. These are menus. And this one up here was the body text. Text and typography. Seems like every time I start a project, I end up rewriting documentation for it. And this third one is going to be what? Close that. Close that. What is what I looked at? What is this? Oh, okay, so these are site. And then the next one is menu. And then the next one is buttons. And then, what are these? It's neat looking. And there's table. Input. Card. That looks interesting. Let's actually get this one. View frame source. UI 4 cards. And then after card is what? No, that's the last one. So those are all the major elements. I think we want menu. Did we get menu? I think we did. There's menu and site. All right, so responsive. We didn't look at the grid yet. These are components and their function. Responsive. Actually, this is what I really want to know, I think. This is responsive. And what do we got? Got a lot of stuff here. And so yeah, we've got, these are stat containers, stack text containers, stackable grids, doubling grid, double stackable grid, nested stackable grid, device adjustments, celled stackable grid. That's interesting. Those are the layout types. Grid, this is also a text container, grid content, clearing rows. That looks important as well. Body. To the top of this grid. Let me update this. Now looking at just documenting semantic UI so I can make sense of the semantics. Let me adjust. Go back to chat plus me. I guess just me, and I'll update this caption. Currently writing some docs for using semantic UI. Okay, let's go back to, I guess, screen plus chat. Right, so I've copied and pasted a bunch of stuff here. that I am now about just to scan it. So let's look at the grid. So we have something called UI text container, UI dividing header using grid. Let's try this. What I want to do is put this into layout 2 rows, and on the bottom here I'm going to write notes. If I can find this selecting thing. Where is it? Come on. Something here I can drag, right? There we go. Alright, so semantic UI notes. Semantics. Just before I start this, let me make sure that there really isn't just a list. I don't think anyone's written one. Let's look at the introduction. So right now I'm looking at oops. Looking at this. Integrations. Recipes. Nice raw intro usage, theming. Yeah, this is a little terrible. It's not getting into the language design itself, or at least I can't figure it out. Not sure where to look for it. Maybe if I was smarter about how you build stuff like this, I could find one file that has everything in it. Now I'm going to see if I can just understand the semantics, just raw. So let's go here. It's occurring to me I should probably reorganize my MIDI thing. Because basically I'm using these keys down here because I want the chat to show. I'm almost never using the full screens like this. But I'll worry about that later. At least they're right there. So, yeah, alright. So I'm not sure what the pattern is, so I'm just going to start laboriously writing stuff down. And how will I do this? UI, I think, is always part of it. Always the first element. Then the next one is a selector. So the syntax looks like this. Class equals UI, and then the next thing is a what? The type? The context? Yeah, so we're seeing things like, let's copy a bunch of these things down. We have UI text container, UI dividing header, then we have internal first. These are all divs. Div H3 first. So just kind of compacting this down. Div dividing header, what is that? Where did I see that? Oh, that's the H1 class. H1 UI dividing header. Now, is there a way I can make these shine? If I make this, why don't I change the type here to HTML? I don't think that would actually do anything because it's not recognizing HTML. What if I change it to Jade? No, I guess I'll leave it plain text. Now I can do it in JavaScript or JSON. Yeah. What I wanted to do was like make these somehow stand out a bit. So we have h3 first. Give you a text container. So interestingly, this h1 class is a UI, but h3 first doesn't. Maybe this h3 first is not part of semantic UI. Let's take a look at that. So this is the grid one. First, yeah, first is a, okay, so that's a giveaway. First is not part of semantic UI for a semantic element markup thing. I'm trying to piece together the patterns here. So h1 UI dividing header, and then we have a UI container, and we have, I'm just going to imply, I'm going to take those out. No, I'll leave them in. So div UI container, then we have div UI grid, and then we have column. I'm actually not sure about this, so this isn't showing me giving me the view source options here. If you, I guess those, okay, so maybe there are, if you columns the direct child of UI grid. Okay, so first might actually be a thing. Let's put that back. That was h3 first. I'll put question marks there. UI text container. So we have a container, then we have text container. h3 first. What's the difference with text container? Another one. Div UI text container. Why is this? This is, then there's div UI one column grid. Then I have a div column. And then we have another UI text container. That's a div UI text container, followed by an h1 UI dividing header. So I guess they have modifiers. Tree first div class, div UI grid, div for wide column. And there's a whole bunch of them. And what do we have? There's clearing rows. Adding row wrappers allows you to manually specify when you want a new row to begin. So div UI3 column grid. Then we have div column, div row, div column, oops, volume column. So I'm starting to get a sense of what the patterns are. Specifying column width. That's the same thing. Div UI 3 column grid, which is the same as this current one. Div for wide column. div. These are nested columns. 8 wide column. 4 wide column. So that is add up to 12, 8, no, it adds up to 16. Is there grid based on 16s? Grid, constant grid size. Somewhere I know it said what the grid was, but let's keep looking at this. Special variations. Format grids that tables require to specify rows. Code divided, grid, divided grid, or row wrappers. What does it look like? Oh, okay, that's interesting. So div UI horizontal section divider. Div UI celled grid. A section divider must be a okay, that's a section there. Is there a vertical section divider? Is there a regular section divider? Div UI celled grid. Div row. Div for a wide column. Where are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are internally celled. What's the difference? Oh, that's weird. Why would you do that? Horizontal divided grid. These are all slightly different. Cell grid. Or div UI generally celled grid, or div UI divided grid. Vertically divided grids. Oh, that's interesting. Or div UI vertically divided grid. So I think we can say a grid is a certain type of thing. Okay, there are 16 grid comms. UI container, div UI grid. This is a 1 column grid. I'll look at this a little later. Let's just finish processing this grid thing, and then we'll condense it down into some sort of useful reference. So adjusting grids. UI centered grid. Div UI 2 column centered grid. So I guess the last thing is the object type, and then the things that become between these are modifiers. That seems to be the pattern. So what else do we have? We have In this 2-column centered grid, we have then a div column, a div 4-column centered row, then a div, and inside that, a column, a column. Okay, so what does I think this does? So two centered, the containing grid is a UI 2-column centered grid. And so I guess we're seeing two column. The first column is going to be 1, and the next one's going to be 4. A 4-column wide. It's centered in a row. So rows can contain columns. So you can have two columns. So rows and grids can have columns. Or maybe they're stacked. Maybe the first one is a full width. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. And the second one is a 4-column centered row with 2 columns in it. All right. So yeah. So all right. Okay. I was trying to see how that works. So on this side over here, 2-column centered grid. So each child div becomes a row in the grid. And if I'd wrap them, like right here, I would have seen a different look. Okay, so floating rows. What does a floating row look like? Div UI grid left floated 6 wide column. Div UI segment. And then this is also a div. Div right floated 6 wide column. And then it's a div UI segment. What is a segment? Text alignment. Specify text columns using alignment variables in a grid, row, or column level. Grid, div UI grid, div right aligned 8 wide column, div left aligned 8 wide column, and then div center aligned 2 column row, div column, and then you know what, div column, div column, 1, 2, and then we get out of that div 16 wide right aligned column. So what does this look like? That's weird looking. Left aligned column. Why does this look like this? So the first right aligned 8 wide column, that's here. The right aligned, oh, the interior of the column is right aligned, so everything that's here, including the padding? What's this stuff here? I'm surprised. I guess I'm wondering why this is not inside of this. This is a grid. So what are the grid sections? Div left floated 6 wide, right floated. What is creating the gray box. So if I select this and look at it, oh, this is a whole thing. Where's the float coming from? Let's see. So this is the right one, right floated. Is that the segment? I guess it's created padding on it because it's 12. Rims. Column knot. This is some fancy CSS. Trying to find bottom. Looked like there was a knot operator in CSS. I don't know where this interior thing is coming from though. Oh, is it this? Yeah. So afterwards, it's inserting this box. Why? Why would you do that? I'm guessing this is just for demonstration purposes. It's not actually part of the I'm guessing it's not part of the actual library itself, because why you wouldn't want these boxes all over this stupid place? This is just to show the grid, I guess. Okay. So, the cat has come back. Grab your feet, grab your feet. Let me see, what was I doing? Alright, so I was just trying to figure this out. So we had the vertical alignment, right aligned, 8 column wide. This is a text alignment example. Cat. Oops. I need to switch this tab size to 2. Oh, don't insert tabs. You indent using spaces. There we go. This one, the one above it, 6 floating. These are floating rows. And then above it, centering content. And the one above that was vertically divided, or adjusting grids. No, wait, this is a whole section. Vertically divided grid. Divided internally divided grids, cell grids. These are grid variations. Now what's above this? Column width. Specifying column width. And then specifying row width. This is 3 column grid. Specifying row width. Where's the row definition? Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Specifying row, 3-column grid. What was this? Oh, this is clearing rows. Somehow I missed that one. This one, I guess I forgot to put that one in. Specifying row width. So this is div UI. Oops, div UI, 3-column grid. Div column. So grid row, clearing grid row. I will have it assigned. Centering. These are all grid related. So to div UI text container. How many of these are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 8. The grid is 16 based. So here, each one dividing header. H1, H3. Now I can see this. So these are all wrapped. Div UI text container. A container is a fixed width element that wraps your site's content. Now what is it about this grid thing? Container. Sometimes you need to put a single column center text on a page. Just a text container will do that. Text containers do not need to use grids, and yet they are using one. Just deleting these elements here to see. I should just be able to edit this, right? So here's the allegedly I don't need to actually have a grid inside of this. Okay. So H1 this is a centered single column text block. And then these are, I guess you can have a UI defining header. UI might be block level. Let's send out a UI block level limit. So I'm guessing I could actually have these UI container. This grid isn't necessary, is it? I mean, it's a constant size. The basic way to wrap the content on your site. Constant size. If I shrink this, oh, no, it is a constant size. That's weird. Okay. The constant size. How do you know what size it's gonna be? The columns are the columns. The grid goes full width though. That's weird. A UI text container. Basic way to wrap a fixed width site. Text block. Okay, so none of these grid things are important. So what's this UI text container stuff? Here we have div UI text container. H3 class. Here is grid content. Okay. Grid content. Basically, it's this. I guess everything can nest. So what does it mean up here then? So we had the text container. That was a constant width. It was all wrapped in this. But then this one was a UI container. And it was flexing to fit. So the UI grid, the basic grid type. Grids are 16 column widths. And wrap. And it flows accordingly. every 16. The grid is 16 columns. Specify width, fire of column. So this suggests that there's columns. We have UI, grid, column. Move these things out of the way. Oops. These are discovered semantics. We have grid, column, clearing good rows. We have rows. Columns, wrapping columns in a row will start a new role independent of wrapping. Column. We also have variations of this in wide column. We have the wraps. Row. We have additional column. And what? Do you see this? 3-column grid. UI. And then we have celled. Internally celled. And then we have divided grid, or divided. And then we have vertically divided. Celled, internally celled, dividedly, vertically divided. Okay. What's this? Grid variations. Centered comment. 2-column centered grid. What does the centered do again? If a row does not take all 16 grid, it gives a centered grid to send the column contents inside the grid. Okay. if row does not have full 16 grid columns, can center them within so we have 2 column centered grid. Is that, did I get that right? 2 column centered grid, centered row. Or centered column. Oops. What was that? That was like 1, 2, 4. Centered row. Two column centered grid. UI centered grid. We also can have, where's the rows? Centered row. We also can have centered columns. How does the centered column work? Oh, okay. Can you have a one wide centered column? Yep. So all these modifiers are possible. What else do we have? We have centered column, floating rows. How does that work? Left floated 6 wide column. Left floated 6 wide. I can only do that with rows? No, wait. Left floated 6 wide column. Left floated 6 wide column. Right floated 6 wide column. On text alignment, space on Flexbox. (16) wide grid. Grid Flexbox based wrap. And we have aligned. We have rows and columns aligned. Grid, row, and columns. UI left aligned, right aligned. Then we also have left floated. On the column side of things, we can do a left aligned 8 wide. Oh wait, is that right? Column right aligned. Vertical alignment. Really? That's just, oh, okay. So you can. So where can we do that? Middle aligned. Can you do a bottom aligned? That's kind of neat. That happens in a grid row column element. UI middle aligned. Or column centered. Equal width columns. You can also have equal width grid, responsive patterns, double width at each device jump. Doubling. Stackable. Then we have stackable response to the width adjustments. Oh, weird. Oh, that's crazy. These are responsive things. Column. Oops. grid. You can have multiple. 8 wide mobile, 6 wide tablet, 4 wide computer column. How does it even know how to parse this? Tablet. That's kind of incredible. How do you even write the CSS rule for that? Device visibility. Is that a row? Now we're in the responsive part. Finally. So that is our basic semantic. I don't need any of this stuff now. This is a distillation of all the patterns I've seen. So now the next part is the responsive stuff. How do we find that again? Responsive. So in our first part, we have responsive UI examples, basic responsive, container, UI segments. How does this work? Responsive. UI container. UI segments. Segment. Segment. Then we have UI text container. UI segments. UI segment. Segment. These are fixed width. When you do text, it just adds a fixed width texty thing. Let's combine this. It's a stack. Responsive. Stackable grid. What do we got here? So we end up with UI 2 column stackable grid. Didn't I already have that? And there's a column and a segment. What is a segment really? Content? So if it's a stack over, there's 2. Okay, it's a 2-column grid. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then there's another little 3-column row. I've seen all of these things before. Doubling grid. Gets some overlap from stuff we've seen before. What is this segment stuff? Nestable stacking, stackable grid. UI 2-column grid. This is an example of nested content. So this is 2-column grid, so it's 2 columns that just keep stacking every time we get another column. So the first column has nested stuff in it, and they put another grid inside of a grid. So I guess we'll have some notes. You can nest grids. Stackable grid container. So we have a 2-column stackable grid container. A grid container. What does a container do? Oh, that's a weird one. UI grid container. So what does stackable do? Oh, a stackable. Stackables will turn into 1 column on narrow devices. But what's a grid container? So here's a doubling grid container, and here's a doubling grid. I guess I'm doubling a grid container. Is that fixed width? Oh, container is a basic wrapper. Okay. Containers are wrapped content. Grids can be used for overall page layout. I guess I'll be a note. The edge. Doubling grid. Doubling stackable grid container. So if it's doubling stackable, it goes wider, but then it gets too narrow. I'm guessing it would turn into one thing. Let's look at it over here. I lost it. Yeah, screw that. Do we still have audio? Test, yes. So device visibility. Grid container, doubling grid container, stackable grid container, device adjustments, 3 wide, computer 9 wide, tablet 6 wide. Responsive grid with variations, stackable divided grid, stackable vertical grid, celled stackables. We've seen all this before. Consecutive doubling stackable. What is that? Consecutive. Where's the consecutive part? So it says a doubling stackable 3-column UI grid container. So it has a column, 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 column. I don't see anything. Doubling. Well, I guess I see 2 of them. Oh, these are 2 doubling stacking containers, one after the other. Why is that important? Just to show that they look fine? Grid container. So it's a 3-column grid container. Responsive elements. Responsive vertical divider. Responsive table. Stackable 2-column very relaxed grid. That's interesting. This is called a what? Very relaxed. UI stackable 2-column very relaxed grid container. What does that mean, very relaxed? Column. UI vertical divider, interesting. Div column. Div UI vertical divider. Div column. Responsive table. UI celled table. Table UI celled table. UI image header. Image UI mini rounded image H4 UI image header, and we can just click UI image header, content and subheader. Content one of their content div subheader. I guess header is a type. Center aligned. Responsive item. UI container relaxed divided items. Who's baked something relaxed? Items. I guess not using the div thing. UI small image. Right chevron icon. Right floated primary button. I think I'm probably at the end of these responsive steps. UI last container. UI last container. UI 3 steps. Div step. Div step. Div content. Div title. Description. Repeat twice more. Oops, div step. Div active step. Disabled. And there's site stuff, which is this, I guess. Site. So here's a 3-column stackable grid. That's all this stuff. This is the first column. There's a bunch of headings. Heading H1 through H5. Pay. Column example value text. Just regular stuff. And the last one is we have red. These are colors, I guess. What are the colors? Red, orange, yellow, olive, green, teal, blue, violet, purple, pink, brown, gray, black. Menus. We have div UI menu, header item. We have items. It's a div header item. It's a brand. Okay. I guess all of these are items. Menu items. Okay, that makes sense. header item. A active item. A item. Div. UI drop down item. Is it div? How come some of these have UI, some of them do and don't? Not sure what the logic is yet. We can have menus and menus. Drop down items. That wasn't not a drop down. That was an I. Why was that an I? Oh wait, UI drop down items. And then you have below that drop down I drop down icon div menu div item div divider then we have another menu. That's of them to drop down. Div right menu. Div item. Div UI action left icon input. I item. I search icon. Input button UI button and under a item. So I guess these menus have items. And what's this other one? The inverted menu. The same thing, so everything's black. Secondary menu. UI secondary menu. That's a different style. Div active item. A item div UI drop down item drop down etc. What's this? These are all part of the same. Secondary menu doesn't have surround. There's this tabbed menu. 3-column doubling grid. Secondary pointing menu. UI is it a 3-column doubling grid? Okay. UI or div UI secondary pointing menu. That's the first column. And we have a tabular menu. UI secondary tabular menu. What's this last type? UI pointing menu. So secondary, that has us around. That's all the menus. Alright, so now we kind of have a working understanding of the semantic stuff. What's all this stuff in the cards? Let's take one more look at that. Grid, responsive, attached content I didn't look at. Did I? Header groups. This is interesting. Active items. This, I'm guessing, is called a tabbed menu. UI tabular menu. What's it called here? Oh, it is tabular. Oh, okay, you can attach stuff. What does that even mean? Attached content. UI header attached with a 3-column grid. Container. Div, the first column. Top attached UI segment. What makes that top? What is an attached UI segment? Oh, is it for grouping? And this one, you have segments, you can have nested segments. Top. These are nested. Okay. UI segment. Horizontal segment. I'm a little lost here now. So what is all this stuff? 3-column grid. Column. So there's a bunch of these columns. Each of these columns has an attached UI segment. That's the bottom, so it's separate. There's another UI segments, but these are not attached. Or are they? What makes these attached and not attached? I guess segments are always attached? Does this look at the bottom? There's all this stuff. That's column 2. Okay, this is column 1. This is column 2. Wait. UI segment middle. This has... Why is this attached? This... Horizontal segments. UI horizontal segments. So I guess segments and then a UI segment. The attached segment is how? Top attached. What is an attached UI segment? It's in a column. UI grid column top attached segment. Which is a UI segment or attached segment. And then bottom attached. So add margin. And then what about this one? It's a table or column table top attached UI basic table. What makes these things attached? I guess our attached table just run together. What if happens if I take out attached from this? Oh, okay. So we have UI table, and then we have UI celled selectable table. UI celled selectable. And then we have the last is a bottom attached. UI celled table. So these are all those various things. So I suppose that, alright, so that's the rollover stuff. Let me refresh this. So these are all the same. Oh yeah, they just run together. And this last one is what? Table attached, bottom attached UI celled table. Alright, and then this last one is what? Top attached 3-item menu. That's 3 items. Attached data menu, attached data menu. Bottom attached segment. Tabular menu. Okay, so I guess the attached interface, the attached content has top and bottom. Basically can mix elements and have them run together. It works on everything. It's a header group now. UI header, UI top, block header. See, attach them, I guess. H4 UI top attached block header. UI bottom attached segment. That's kind of neat. Top block header. So you're just using the attachments just to stick stuff together. Block header, section divider. And you just like stick them all together. Yeah, it's pretty cool. What's this message thing? Attention icon. Top attached. Alright, so that's what attachments are all about. I think we've looked at everything. That's starter. What's layouts? Right? Oh, okay, here we go. Let's write some definitions down here. Segment is used to create a grouping of related content. Oh, here's where all that stuff is. Okay, where is this? So these are all the types. Raised, stacked, piled, vertical. And then groups. What is this? Raised, stacked, piled, vertical. Groups. You have grouped segments. It's used to group. States, disabled, class loading, loading, disabled, the variations, inverted, padding, these are all important. Inverted, attached, padded, compact, colored, this is circular, clearing, floated, text alignment, basic, no special formatting, text alignment, these are all common. What is clearing? Circular. Let's go back here. Alright, so we were looking at menu. use secondary pointing tabular text vertical. What is pagination? Okay. Pagination. Content. Input. Can contain text, input, button, link, item, drop down. Oh, the cat's in the way. Text, input, button, link, item, drop down, item, pop up menu, search menu, sub menu, states. Ugh. Hover active. Variations, it's probably the same. Nope, they're not. They're attached. Whoa. That sucks. There we go. Okay, you're in the way again. States. Variations. Is the same? Ugh. This is what I'm dealing with. Fixed, stackable, inverted. Some of these are the same. Colored icons, labeled icon, fluid, compact, evenly divided, attached, size, fitted, borderless. Okay. What other interesting things exist? Feed. Divider. We have accordions. Tabs. Oh wait, that's what we're just looking at. Divider, accordion. Labels are interesting too. Looks like a label. We have label. We have image, pointing, corner, tag, ribbon, attached, horizontal, floating, and we have content, detail. What's detail? These are additional things you can add in. A label, or wait, a detail, icon, image, link. Okay. Variations. Variations. Circular. Basic. Colored. Size. Groups. Share size together? What does that mean? Huge labels. Oh, okay. And they can share sizes. Attributes. Variations. Set at group level. Apply to label. So I'm guessing anyway. What else do we have that's interesting looking? There's a lot of interesting stuff here. What page is this though? Unbelievable breadth. Why is this so terrible? Feed, where? How do I even find this documentation? Oh, it's over here. Look at all the elements. How do I get to this page? Okay, kind of a working sense of how this works then. So go to the menu and look at all these things. So look at an accordion. And look at the code. Yeah, so basically UI accordion and then the variations of that. Alright, so what have I learned? Go to semantic UI website and look up these types. We have look up elements, collections, views, and modules. So under elements, we have button, and these aren't organized by anything. Container, divider, flag, header, icon, image, input, label, list, loader, rail, reveal, segment, step. These are alphabetical. And then under elements, what else now? Under the collections, I guess the collections of other things, breadcrumb, form, grid, menu, message, table. Views. What are views? Advertisement, card, comment, feed, item, statistic. I guess these are like compound elements. Modules. I guess their modules probably require some JavaScript stuff, maybe. Or they're collections of views, or the managers of views, maybe? That's probably one way. Accordion, checkbox, dimmer, drop down, embed, modal, nag, pop-up, progress, rating, search, shape, sidebar, sticky, tab, transition. And what's the API? How does this work? What does this do? Allow elements that trigger actions on the server. So, using use function, use named API actions like get followers instead of URLs like blah blah blah. Made by an action get followers. Centrally manage your API. API get followers, so you're giving it this templated thing. Create user, create. Function API things, success tests. I'm not sure what this is for. Some sort of what does it do? I do not know what this is for. Alright, but I kind of have a working knowledge of this now. About 2.5 hours of just looking at semantic UI to just get kind of into its head. And now I have kind of a working knowledge of it. And I'm not sure what this. I can guess at what most of these are. A message, a view, a statistic. I missed that. Did I type that in? Just didn't see it. Oh, that's a run out. No, wait. No, those are views. Oh, I did get a statistic. Tab. Progress, rating, search. So it's our sidebar. The inverted vertical menu. These attached sidebars? Oh, wait. Examples. Oh, actually a table usage. UI class sidebar. What's a pusher? Left vertical menu sidebar. Your element sidebar argument when array 2. I'm not sure how this JavaScript stuff works, but I'm not going to worry about it now. Let me see if I can summarize what this does. Summary thoughts on semantic UI. Grid system is useful for laying out full page responsive views. Use containers for adding, padding, wrapping other elements. What else did I look at? Actually, I guess I just really needed to know that. Use rows and columns. Rows. To affect the stacking. Wrapping and various widths. So you can pretty much express anything, I think, with this. Oh, okay. I think I got it. Let's look at, let's open up Quiver again. And just paste my notes in here just in case something bad happens and I lose this all. Okay, good. So I think that's it for today. I have a working understanding of how semantic UI is set up and then how I might use the reference documentation to figure out what I need to do. But it does seem to largely make sense. I mean, there's just each I wasn't sure what the nouns were, which are basically the elements and collections. And what I was calling here the where was it? It was up here, I think. Elements, collections, views. So these are all, I'm assuming that these are all, yeah, these are the nouns, progress. And then the various variations occur between that. So the last element on the class list is generally the type of thing it is, the semantic UI object. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to call it a night. Hope you're getting some work done. And this was actually pretty important for me to get out of the way because I'd been kind of stuck on how to build a website page, but now I think I can just like throw it together. And I feel more comfortable with how semantic UI I think is set up. It does seem to make more sense than Bootstrap does. Bootstrap is wrapped up with all this junk every place. So I'm hoping this is a better library to work with, but we shall see. All right, I'm going to sleep. Have a good night.